there, and welcome to this week's episode of the Australian Small Business Show. Matt, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Christy Lee. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. We're talking about a topic that we've recently had to navigate on the podcast today, and that is trying to take a break. When I say trying, trying to take a break from your business.
That's right. We spent a few weeks traveling around Italy, which was very nice, but we also
So
had to manage our businesses at the same time.
exactly. Yeah, it was a long awaited trip for a certain significant day. We won't say which one for Matthew. So we have recently had the experience of trying to take a break, and we thought today we'd share some of the strategies we put in place ahead of time to take that break, where we probably could have done a better job in terms of actually taking a break, and some ideas for you in terms of being able to take a break from your business. Because I think as small business owners, it is so hard to get a break from your business. And you and I both running our own businesses means that no one's ever getting a break, really.
No,
So we live and breathe this challenge firsthand. And we've both had different iterations of businesses over the last 20 years or so. Some of mine have been easier to take a break from than others. Have you found that as well?
absolutely. When I had quite a large business I was running at one point in time, so having a break then was a lot easier than it is when you've got a smaller team. So obviously now as solopreneurs, really to a degree, we do have to put in place things that help us to be able to take a break and not be concerned, which I think that's the key here, is that it's easy we can all take a break from our businesses, but if you're going away to Noosa and sitting in a hotel room on your laptop all day, it's not really taking a break, is it?
Or in Malaysia, as I've been to before. But I will say my experience has been the reverse of yours, in that when I had the biggest team that I've had, it was the hardest for me to take a break, and I learned a lot of lessons from that. So yes, I think we can unpack a lot of that today. So let's talk about some of the strategies that we need to put in place, I should say, when we want to be able to take a break from our business. What's the first strategy you think we need to think about, Matt?
Shifting your mindset. And I talk to my coaching clients, my mentoring clients a lot about this. The first thing I talk to them about is that I'm shifting from being an operator to a business owner. So you need to think of yourself as a business owner first. And as soon as you can shift that mindset, then you start thinking about other people being able to assist you. But if you're not, if you're stuck in the day to day in the grind, doing all the things that happen in your business, you won't think about how somebody, a third party, a employee, a contractor, whatever it is, can assist you in those processes.
Yeah, the mindset shift here is about who, not how. Not how do I take a break, but who can I rely on to take a break? And for a lot of business owners, this is challenging because we are often by default total control freaks. And we think that by delegating or leaving the responsibility to someone else, it's not going to get done properly. And it's simply not the case. It's just about having the right team. But you really do have to shift your thinking into not being responsible for the day-to-day operations, but to be the steward or the captain of the ship, and leading the team to be responsible. So there's some good questions you can think about here. If I needed to take a week off suddenly, what would happen? And
Yeah,
start
a
to put
lot.
in
I
those
actually, I
strategies.
really like that question. You sit back and get yourself a little notepad and say, well, what's going to break in my business if
Yeah,
I didn't do anything for 2 weeks?
yeah.
And you'll end up with a big list of things that could potentially go wrong, and that'll guide you in how to set your business up for you to be able to take that time off.
Absolutely. So definitely the mindset shift is a big one. And I think you have to do the mindset shift first before you can do any of the other actual practical strategies, because until you're in the right mindset, you won't be thinking about and you won't properly assess the practical strategies. So making that mindset shift is really important. The second one is the concept of building a business that runs without you, which is a bit scary, but isn't difficult if you follow some processes. So systems, processes, documentation, all really important. Do you recommend doing those yourself, Matt, or do you get your team to do those?
I think it's something, if you're starting a business on your own, I think and most of us won't do this because we wake up on a Monday and we've got, XYZ needs to get done today or this hour or this week. I will recommend that whether you're starting a business on your own or whether you're starting with a team, that you document your process straight away, whether they're things that you're doing or the team's doing, but you're documenting them, not just running your business wildly, but you sit back, you go, right, I need to do this. What's the process here? Even if it's just you doing it, you're still documenting the process in anticipation that at some point in time, you're going to have to show somebody that process.
Absolutely. Yeah. So SOP, standard operating procedures, are golden. I have been notoriously bad at creating mine, but I'm very good at finding technology to support me in doing that. So in our team, we create screen share videos for every process and then a transcription of that process as well, which the team then turn into bullet point sort of step-by-step instructions so that anyone that needs to pick something up can go and look at that video and follow the process, because of course different people learn differently. And we've found that that's worked really well. There's also a stack of great automations that you can use, and we might do a whole other episode on this actually, where you can simply have a Chrome extension, in on your browser that literally, when you turn it on, follows you around the screen as you're doing something and creates the step-by-step process. So this actually doesn't have to be manual or difficult anymore, which is really great.
No, in my businesses, I use picture guides as old. So there's a workflow process for everything. It starts with a PDF that's got what has to happen. Now, the example might be setting up a self-managed super fund. This is the process, and this is who does it. And each of those processes will have a checklist sitting under it. So you could essentially, it's like a little guidebook. Someone could come into my business and pick that up and say, all right, this is what needs to happen now. This is who does it, and this is what things need to happen to achieve that.
Yeah, so having documented systems and processes is really important. The second thing that's really important is your team, whether that be an in-house team of employees or VAs or contractors that you're relying on. They need to know what's expected of them whilst you're taking this break, and let them do it, because they generally do a great job.
Don't call them every hour.
Don't call them every hour. Don't check in. They'll let you know if there's a problem. And I think really importantly here, having a clear communication strategy with your team. At what point do they need to escalate something whilst you're away? At what point can they make decisions? So having some really clear parameters around responsibilities and authority and all of those kind of things is important as well. But give the team ample time. Don't dump this on them the day before you go on a break.
Well, could you build that into your onboarding? So, I mean, most of us take breaks at the same time of year. That generally, whatever industry you're in, there's probably a best time of the year that you can take 2 or 3 weeks away. Do you build that into your onboarding process? So as the employees come through, they're fully aware that in January, the boss or the owner or the director is not going to be there?
Look, it depends. If it's that regular and your team's there and you're not, sure, that could be part of the onboarding, but I think it's better done closer into the actual break. And I mean, January is an anomaly period where most of the team's off anyway, so it's not like the owner's away and everyone else is there usually. It's usually everyone's on a break for a period of time. So I think having it a bit closer in, it's a bit more relevant, but if there's something that is regular and systematic, for sure, you could build it into the onboarding.
What about a trial run?
Definitely do a trial run, particularly if it's a new task for the person or a new sort of area of responsibility. Have them take it over for a couple of weeks whilst you're around. So if there are any troubleshooting issues, things that don't go to plan, you can course correct before you're trying to take a break.
Fantastic. Now, the next point, automating and delegating tasks.
Love a good automation. So, for example, a really good thing to do when you're taking a break is put your out of office emails on, so your clients don't direct them what to do. Make
sure the message doesn't say I'll be checking my emails.
Correct, because if you even hint that you might be sporadically checking your emails, everyone will expect that they get an immediate response.
It's sending a mixed message.
Exactly. So when my out of office tells people exactly what to do depending on what type of client they are. So if you're in a particular program of mine, you can send a message in a particular way, and I will check those whilst I'm away because they're my high-end clients. Other clients can submit a comment or a question in a community environment, and the team are checking those for me. Others, the message is everything else is I'll respond on my return.
Right. That sounds fantastic.
And I think as well, anything else you can automate that you don't want to have to check whilst you're away. So your accounting, your appointment setting diaries and those kind of things, making sure that someone can't sneakily book an appointment with you during your break time. All of those things you want to set up in advance.
And what else are we looking at here? So you're going to need to have enough money to go away on holidays.
Exactly. So budgeting, particularly cash flow, is reliant on you being in the business, making sure you've got that budget done.
That's right. So you need to make sure that you're building that into to how you're selling your products, how you're chasing your debtors, all that kind of stuff. So you need to make sure that your business is set up so you can confidently take the 2 or 3 weeks off to travel around Italy whilst you're not earning income.
Exactly. Yeah. And that does require, for a lot of businesses, that's quite a bit of forethought. For others, not such an issue. But if you are the main income generator in your business, it does require that plan in advance.
Yeah, that's right. So really start looking at a cash reserve, or it depends on the type of business you're in. If you got a subscription model, then it doesn't really matter. The monthly fees are starting to come in. But if you are, say, exchanging time for money, you're going to need to make sure that you're building that into your hourly rate as you're going on.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing that's really important is communicate in advance with your customers so that you don't have a situation where they're feeling, underserviced because you're taking a break, or if there are different staff members that they need to be connecting with during your break time, make sure they know that well in advance, do the introduction so that they feel looked after during this period as well.
Yeah, that's right. So just I mean, that's the hardest thing, I think, as a business owner. You build up a relationship with your customers or your clients, and then you've got to sort of disappear for a period of time. So there's that guilt feeling that you're not servicing them correctly. If you don't have other people within your business, then it's really a case of managing that process so they're fully aware that you're taking time off. And look, most of your customers will be absolutely fine that you're working hard all year. Go and have a nice time.
Well, exactly. They're all taking holidays, so they're usually quite fine with you doing so. There's always the exception, and you and I.
There's always the exception. We do, but look, if you've got a team of people, then like you said, it's about introducing them in, and that's a great thing anyway. I know from my perspective, coming up as an accountant, part of the process was that you manage a bundle of clients, and the next stage was to sort of introduce them to the next person coming through, and you take a different role. So I'm very used to that process. So you're always, revolving your client base. So it's really important before you go away on a holiday that you're letting the clients know that their questions, even their urgent ones, are going to get answered quickly and correctly.
Absolutely. So our, key takeaways from taking a break, and I guess for us an extended break, we haven't had a break like that in many, many years, is document your processes and get them sorted ahead of time. Delegate and automate where possible, and get a communication strategy in place with your team, I think and your customers for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. And say do all those things and you don't return to chaos.
Yeah. And I guess a real life example here, we did take the 3-week break over a period where a lot of people are away, but we both still did some work every day. So we timed it beautifully. We did an hour or two in the morning where we were local time and triaged what we needed to so that we could enjoy the rest of the day.
And never during aperitivo. And I did come back with a lot of red flagged emails.
Yes, I came back with a rather full inbox, but that's to be expected. So I hope that helps with you taking a break from your business. If you've got strategies that you put in place so that you can enjoy some downtime, we would love to hear from you. Come and connect with us over on our socials, Facebook and Instagram. Search for the Australian Small Business Show and let us know how you take a break from your business.
Awesome. Thanks, Christy.
Thanks, Matt.